What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and in this video, once again we'll be taking a look at the new Challenge of the Elders bosses and the rotation for the week. So that includes the bosses, their mechanics, what's new about them, and also the loadouts I'd recommend for the current modifiers. So of course your old sigil will be expired, you need to grab a new one from barracks in the Vestian outpost, and once you do, you'll be able to see the modifiers and be able to launch the activity. Now the modifiers this time around are pretty interesting and definitely very weird. The first one is Brawler, and this means you get a bonus melee damage, so most of your melee attacks will probably be a one hit, whereas most of the time they leave them with a sliver of health. Most of your melee attacks will actually be one shots and it'll be a little bit more powerful. Now the bonus modifier for this week is for super kills. This means all of your super kills are going to get you bonus points. That is the fastest way to hit that cumulative and total score, and if you want to hit those targets, your best way is going to be with super kills this week around. Now simply because of this, I would highly recommend the Bad Juju Pulse Rifle. This is an essential exotic, I think, because you're going to get loads of bonus super energy from every single kill, and also you can kill loads of ads easily enough to reload. So Bad Juju, 100% recommend that weapon, is the best exotic you can bring for this Challenge of the Elders run, so make sure you have one of those if you have it. If not, it's not going to be too much of a big deal, but Bad Juju is without a doubt going to help you out. The final modifier is going to be Ironclad. This is an interesting one you don't see too often, and this means that enemies have more shields. By this, it means those elemental shields that you see the ads actually have. Now, you'll see a lot of the normal enemies that don't normally have shields suddenly have shields, and they can be a little bit difficult, especially because all of the ads, literally all of them in the room, will all of a sudden have these shields, and they can be quite difficult, especially if you don't have that element. So you want to try and make sure you coordinate with your team and have at least one weapon that does each type of burn damage to try and get rid of those shields, because it can be quite annoying when there's a load of ads and you can't really do much damage to them because they all have these elemental shields. Now, in terms of the bosses for this week, they're pretty simple. The first one is the Overmind Minotaur. There's nothing too crazy about him. What he's going to do every now and again is try and spot you, and there'll be a countdown on your screen when he does that. And if you're in his line of sight, in his actual vision, when the countdown hits 0, then you'll be detained in one of those Atheon Vault of Glass type shields, and you have to break out of it. It's not really a big deal, you're kind of protected if anything, and sometimes it can help you out because you won't take damage when you're inside the shield. You just got to try and break out of it. And the main thing is to make sure you're not in the air or moving fast when he detains you, because if you fall out of the shield and if you're moving too quickly, you'll fall out and it'll pretty much kill you. So you need to watch out for that, but all in all, not really too difficult boss in my opinion. Now, the next boss is Psylocke. We've seen him so many times. I think he's been in every single rotation of the Challenge of the Elders. This guy is not really a big deal. He just burns the floor a lot of the times. You need to watch where you're standing and do as much damage to him as possible. And the final boss is the new one. This guy's name is noru'usk, the Servant of Oryx, and this guy doesn't actually have any modifiers. It's simple as that. He literally is just a giant bullet sponge, and there's nothing crazy you have to do. All you need to do is just work on the ads and try and get as many points from them and whittle down his health as much as possible. This guy literally does not have any modifiers. You can just shoot him as much as you want or as little as you want. He's not going to do anything extra on top of his regular attacks with his weapon and also his Axion darts he sends after you, which do get super annoying. Other than that, he's literally just a giant bullet sponge. There's nothing really you have to worry about him, so kind of a disappointment. I was expecting some kind of mechanic, and the Taken Centurion before him, Val Arun, was actually pretty interesting. He had some Scion Flares attached to him, and he had to kill the one that corresponded to the element of his shield. This guy literally has nothing, so it's not really much to worry about. But this dude is pretty easy and pretty simple, just like a normal strike boss back in the day. There's no mechanics, just literally shoot down his health and kill the ads. Not sure whether it's a bug or whether he's supposed to have some mechanics. Maybe it didn't work, because it seems kind of weird to them to have a boss that doesn't have any mechanics, because every single boss we've had so far always has some kind of mechanic to work through and something to do, so you can't just spam his health down. This guy is easy, so I guess he's a pushover, not really too much to worry about. In terms of weapons, I would recommend the Dreadfang is a really good one. Now, this simply because it does void damage, and the second round with Psylocke, there are a load of acolytes, and pretty much most of the ads, they all have shields. Like I mentioned with Ironclad, loads of these random ads that don't normally have shields suddenly do have shields, and they're really annoying. So make sure you get that Dreadfang out. It's got the void damage, which is going to cut through them, and also is bonus damage to the Taken, because it is a Taken weapon. So make sure you have Dreadfang, and I would highly recommend that for the Psylocke for round 2. And also Bad Juju, like I said, that is a must-have exotic, because you get bonus super energy. Now, in terms of supers, you obviously want to be running the Slayer supers. I think the number one most slaying super that you can get the most kills with is got the Stormcaller for the Warlock, of course. I think this is the most efficient in terms of kills. They can definitely rack up the most, so make sure you pick one of those on. For the Hunter, of course, you want the Gunslinger, and I definitely recommend the Aquifage, so you get the 4th shot. That is going to make a big difference. And also you want the Sunbreaker for the Titan, because obviously that is going to be very lethal and get you quite a bit of points for your Elder Sigil challenges. In terms of the modifiers, I definitely prefer them to last week. Last week they felt a little bit odd and didn't really make too much sense. And this week I'll agree, I don't think they make too much sense either. The Brawler is very weird. They don't fit in with anything. And again, I really would love to see the modifiers really tie in with the bonus modifiers, so you can have a really good playstyle. I keep going back to that week when we have bonus grenade energy and also bonus grenade points, meaning that we could just spam loads of grenades, and with the nothing manacles for the Warlock, you could spam loads of nades, and with the Warlock buff as well, you could just have such a fun time and basically not have to use your primary weapon It didn't make things OP because obviously you still need to kill as many ads as possible and you can't just burn down the boss. So it wasn't really like breaking the game, but it was just a fun experience to not have to use weapons and actually use your abilities like grenades. I think this week they had a perfect opportunity. I just wish they swapped out Brawler for something that boosted your super energy, although I don't think there is actually a modifier that will boost your super energy. I would love to see one based on Mayhem or close to that mission where you unlock your new subclass and they give you a load of energy for your super all the time. And I really want to see a great combination of modifiers to make an interesting gameplay experience, just like when we had grenades. I thought that was super fun. Like I've said numerous times, I just love using that kind of different playstyle and not having to use your weapons. So those are my thoughts on the new challenge of the Elders and all the info you need to know about the bosses, the rotations, and also what kind of weapons you should definitely be using. As always, drop your comments down below. What do you think so far about the challenge of the Elders for this week? And have you got any cool loot so far from the challenge of the Elders? I'll be interested to read your comments. Don't forget to leave a like rating on this video if you enjoyed it. Always appreciate all of your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.